Well, look, I thought what we'd do is start off with something real simple, but we'd make it unbelievably delicious.
I mean, I'm looking at what's out here and it already looks delicious and we haven't done anything yet.
Okay, so we start with the bacon.
Okay.
We're gonna make macaroni and cheese. So take your bacon and drop it into the oven. Double smoked bacon, I make it myself.
Do you?
Yep.
I know whose house I'm coming to for my bacon.
You collect sneakers, I collect butchers.
That's fine.
I have a lot of them, and we make all our own charcuterie. So it's like a beautiful smoky cured bacon, and it's got a real richness to it.
Love it.
So we're gonna get that nice and crisp.
Okay.
And while we do that, we're gonna make a crumb. I just had a couple of old bagels.
Okay.
And I mean, like, feel how sort of stale they are?
Yeah.
That's kind of perfect.
Okay.
Right? So we're gonna make a crumble out of the bagel, because if it's a little bit stale, what's gonna happen is it's gonna absorb a little less of the oil, so it'll still keep its crunch. So just break this into a few pieces, stick it into your little food processor, and...
God, that smells so good.
Right, hit it again.
Okay.
You kind of want to leave them a little chunky, but not too chunky.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Beautiful. Get the blade out of there. Turn the bacon. Oh yeah, you want it to get nice and dark like we are here, right? Because what we're gonna do is get it so crisp that it all just breaks up.
All right.
So that's looking exactly how we want it. So then what we do is get a plate, and you should just have a little piece of paper underneath. We're gonna use that to just take off any of the excess fat. Okay, so once you've got it nice and colored, you want it pretty dark.
Okay.
You can just lift them up.
Okay.
And transfer it over onto that paper. And we're just gonna let it sort of set, and then we're gonna crumble it, chop it, and that's gonna go back in the crumb. Okay. But we're not gonna waste the flavor that's in this incredible fat, because normally you'd toast breadcrumbs in butter.
Right.
But why would you when you have bacon fat?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is take that out.
Okay.
And then take those crumbs that you made and throw the whole thing in there. We're going to fry that bread and garlic. Coming back to the bacon,
okay,
you can just pop that now onto your board, now that it's kind of manageable.
All right.
Grab your knife, and we're just going to chop it.
Okay. Let's move this. I wish I was good at the cutting.
You got it.
Get them all together here. Try to knock it out in one swoop. Okay. Hot, hot.
Here, let me show you a little secret. If you imagine this, always staying in contact with the board.
Okay.
And then you can even put your hand on top, and then you can kind of just go on through. And that's effectively the easiest way to chop.
Oh.
And then once you've chopped it, you can just chuck it back in.
All right.
Once your water comes to the boil,
yep,
you can throw the pasta in. So we'll share the pasta.
Okay.
So that goes in.
Yeah, why not? Throw the whole boatload in there. There you go.
So instead of seasoning the pasta when it comes out, I always like seasoning the water, because the pasta's going to absorb some of that water as it cooks.
Right.
So you season it like you like salt.
Yeah.
I always say season it until it tastes like the ocean. Ocean's real salty.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take on just a little bit of that saltiness.
Mm-hmm.
So nice, generous season. I know what you're thinking. I'm your cook, not your doctor.
Yeah.
I'm going to get us both another piece of paper.
I just keep eating the bacon.
Eat the bacon.
I just keep eating the bacon.
Do it. Okay, so then we put it onto the paper, because a little bit of that excess fat's going to come off, which is good. All right, that'll make sure it doesn't get soggy and it gets super crispy. All right, so now we make the sauce. The first thing you do is butter and flour. We're going to make what we call a roux, right? So it's a white roux, so we don't want any color. So just go ahead and put that whole piece of butter in.
Okay.
Like I said. I'm your cook, not your doctor. Then you take your flour and then you dump that whole little bowl. It's about equal parts.
Okay.
Right? Fat and flour. So this is what ultimately thickens the cheese sauce. And then if you want to switch out for a whisk, you should have one over there in your little bowl. You can go ahead and kind of whisk that together. So we let this cook for maybe 2 minutes without any color before we start adding the liquid, which is milk. So grab your milk and just slosh maybe a third of it in. Just like that. When I say slosh, I meant it.
Is that enough or should I go a little bit more?
A little bit more.
All right.
Because then you're going to whisk and you're going to see it's going to turn thick pretty fast.
Okay.
So we're going to whisk it until it's nice and thick. So have a little taste of that and see what you like for seasoning. And cheesiness. Oh yeah, I can still take a little bit of that parm, a little bit of the mozz.
Yeah, I haven't tasted mine yet.
I've got spoons over there in the
I think I'm going to have to
little cup.
Here in a moment, so I know what I'm working with here. Like you said, gotta taste it. Oh, that's good.
How good is that?
It needs salt though.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
It always takes more salt than you think.
Yep. And I think I'm going to do a little bit more cheddar.
That's right. Then you're like, what else does it need? Does it need a bit more of this? Does it need a bit more of that?
A little bit more cheddar.
And then you just build it up.
And, there we go.
You can even use blue cheese. If you like stinky, strong cheeses.
Blue cheese is always good.
Yeah.
Is this blue cheese?
No, I didn't bring any. All right, next step. We kind of lose that whisk. Once you've got it nice and smooth, which you look like you already have, this is the moment where you become the king.
I mean, look at that. That's...
You get that beautiful crumble.
Now we get the crumble on there.
And just bring that over, and you can just pick it up, cover it up.
And just throw it all in there, yeah?
Yeah, get it all on. And the crumb really changes the texture. It also adds a ton of flavor. And of course, that crispy bacon. It's divine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you pick it up, you walk to the table, and you start singing. Tell me why. Oh, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, here. That goes onto the table. Everyone's happy. I'm going to get us a bowl so we can taste it.
Yep, let me put that right there.
Dude, that looks good.
It does.
All right, get yourself a nice big generous spoonful.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I gotta get some more of that.
Get that
crumble.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get the crumbles.
Can you hear the cameraman's stomach rumbling right now?
There we go.
Sorry, fellas. Well, mate, comfort food at its absolute best.
Yep, and I have to eat with my left hand because I can't eat with my right hand.
Is that on the same?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. My entire family is the other way. Hot, but holy wow.
Right?
Yeah. Holy shenanigans.
You're like, what's that other stuff they've been calling mac and cheese all this time?
Oh my.
Mm.
I made this. I did. With the best coach.
I don't know about you, but that looks pretty delicious. Thank you for watching. If you want more, make sure you subscribe.